World News in 5.
Right now.
News and developments making headlines around the world in 5 minutes. World News in 5. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Good day. This is World News in 5 here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. 3 people have died, including the suspected shooter, while 6 others were injured in a school shooting in the city of Madison in Wisconsin, United States of America. Madison Police Chief Sean Barnes said the 17-year-old female student at the Abundant Life Christian School, where the incident happened, was among found dead at the scene. Barnes added that at least 2 of the students injured are in critical condition at the hospital and no motives have yet been identified, but the suspect's family was cooperating with the investigation. Local police said they responded to a 911 call just before 11 in the morning local time, but once they arrived at the school, the shooter was already dead. A handgun was recovered from the scene. Meanwhile, the White House said President Joe Biden has been briefed on the incident and senior officials are in contact with Madison authorities for support. It's a race against time as search and rescue teams try to reach survivors after Cyclone Chido barreled through the French Indian Ocean territory of Mayotte. The cyclone made landfall over the weekend, packing winds over 220 kilometers per hour. French authorities fear that close, if not over 1,000 people, have succumbed to the storm as images and videos on social media show a trail of destruction with trees uprooted, homes reduced to rubble, and streets filled with debris. Telecommunications and electricity were also down as Health Minister Genevieve Darrieussecq reported that the island's hospital suffered major water damage and destruction, notably in the surgical, intensive care, maternity, and emergency units. Medical centers were also non-operational. Meanwhile, French President Emmanuel Macron is scheduled to have a crisis meeting in Paris. Mayotte is an archipelago located in the Indian Ocean off the coast of southeastern Africa. It is home to around 320,000 people and is France's poorest territory, where an estimated third of the population live in small, crudely built dwellings. And news from the Philippines Foreign Service Post: amidst the cool winter air of Hanoi, the Philippine Embassy in Hanoi held a parole lighting and Thanksgiving ceremony entitled Liwanag ng Pasko, Pag-ilaw ng Parol at Gabi ng Pasasalamat with members of the Filipino community in Hanoi and nearby provinces. Ambassador Maynardo Montealegre welcomed community members and their families inside the embassy grounds at sunset, for guests to marvel at the embassy facade adorned with Christmas decor, lights, and Capiz paroles from the Philippines. In his remarks, Ambassador Montealegre emphasized how the parole is an important symbol for Christmas in the Philippines, representing the Star of Bethlehem that guided the three wise men to Jesus' birth. Aside from the parol serving as a light and a guide to people going to Simbang Gabi during Christmas season, Ambassador Montealegre also highlighted that the parol also serves as North Star and called on the guests to reflect on their reason for being in Vietnam, to work well for themselves and for their loved ones, and for students to exert their best efforts on their studies while in Vietnam. Ambassador Montealegre also took the opportunity to thank the Filipino community in Vietnam for their efforts and participation during embassy events the past year. Following the lighting of the parol, Filipino students serenaded the guests with their rendition of Pasko sa Pinas and Star ng Pasko. For guests to further feel the spirit of Christmas in the Philippines, Filipino snacks and kakanin such as ensaymada, ube halaya, sinokmani and biko, and traditional Filipino Christmas dishes such as bibingka galapong, pandesal, hamon, queso de bola, and salabat and chocolate were prepared for the guests to enjoy, bringing a traditional Filipino Christmas touch to Christmas celebrations in Vietnam. And that concludes today's edition of World News in 5. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, this is Leo Magpayo. Good day.
World News in 5.
Right now.
News and developments making headlines around the world in 5 minutes. World News in 5. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.